we opened our first store in Vegas in 23. It's a 13,000 square foot of retail space. It has a half basketball court, recording studio, a bar.
Hello, I'm John Jannarone, Editor-in-Chief of Exec Edge. Happy to be back in Orlando at ICR Conference 2025. I have with me today the CEO of a.k.a. Brands, which, by the way, trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker a.k.a. It's Ciaran Long. Ciaran, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us, John.
So, if you could, Ciaran, for those who are not familiar with the business, can you give us an overview of what you do? It's on-trend fashion. You've got a portfolio of exclusive brands, but in your own words.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, we've 4 brands at a.k.a. Brands. We are, a collection of portfolio of brands. Our largest brand is Princess Polly, and that focuses on the teen and college consumer, female consumer, and very much on-trend fashion, accessible price point, and doing it in a sustainable way. And we're scaling that brand in the US. We just opened their 6th store this year, and so seeing great success there. Petal & Pup is our second brand on the women's side, focuses more on that 25 to 40-year-old consumer, and really kind of being there for all occasions where she's on this kind of next part of her life. It's a great brand, predominantly direct to consumer, but we did the test with Nordstrom in October of 24. We went into 40 doors, great success there. And now we're going to be in all Nordstroms in spring-summer of 2025. So great progress there.
Great. Now, Ciaran, if we could, for some viewers who are not familiar with how retail versus wholesale works, DTC versus wholesale, the margins are not quite as good in wholesale, but it does help you get exposure and build brand awareness, right?
Yeah, and for us, we very much have a strategy of, we've built these brands on a direct consumer basis,
right?
All of that themselves. But look, this year and over the last couple of years, we focused on being wherever our customers are. Let's be where they are. And so for Princess Polly, that's opening stores. For the other brands, it's doing more on the wholesale. And for us, we're very happy to do that where we feel where we're doing wholesale enhances our brand, builds brand awareness, and has the right economics for us.
Makes a lot of sense.
Gross margins are a bit different, but there's great profitability there.
Now, I was just looking at your numbers, tremendous growth in the last year. What was driving that, and should we expect the same forces to continue on into 2025?
Yeah, we're delighted with the performance we've made and really just scaling these brands. So in Q4, overall growth of 7%, but up 22% in the US, so really good performance there, and much more consistent performance now, great growth in the US. For us, it's really back to that strategy of great product and putting it in front of customers wherever they are. So we're going to continue to lean into that strategy.
Great. Now, you've had some new Princess Polly stores open in the last year. Can you tell us about how that's impacted sales? And by the way, Ciaran, if I could ask, when you open more stores, can it also help e-commerce? Because people might walk in and then go home and buy it online.
Yeah, sure. We opened our first store for Polly September 23, okay. Century City, LA. Saw how that was performing. So 30% of the customers were new to the brand.
Okay.
And we also saw a halo effect online from that of just raising it in that area around the store.
Yeah.
So that really gave us confidence to do more stores. We opened 5 stores in 2024 for Princess Polly. 1 in Newbury Street in Boston, the rest kind of on the West Coast. And we're opening a store in New York in March, so 8,000 square foot.
Oh, wow.
Down in Soho. And really will continue to build on that model that we have and looking for our stores, deliver sales, deliver profit, but also build that brand awareness.
Great. Let's talk about Culture Kings, another brand in the portfolio. What's going on there? Also growing at quite a good clip.
Yeah, growing at a great clip, scaling in the US. Culture Kings, a streetwear brand focused on the men's side of the business. And for them, they have a mix of about 50% of their revenue is from their own brands. We have about 10 brands that we focus on. And then about 50% from third-party brands, the Nike, Jordan, New Era, people like that, authentic to the streetwear space. Culture Kings is very much experiential retail. So, predominantly e-commerce, but we opened their first store in Vegas in 23. It's a 13,000 square foot of retail space. It has a half basketball court, recording studio, a bar, and really just bringing together marketing activations to life in that store.
Great. And then Petal & Pup, tell us about the go-to-market strategy there.
Yeah, very focused on that 25 to 40-year-old consumer. I think really leaning into e-commerce, on-trend product that they have, and also now looking to scale as we go fully across the Nordstrom chain. I think we'll continue to focus on small number of wholesale opportunities for that brand in conjunction with pushing on the direct consumer space.
Ciaran, I've got to ask you, thinking about all this, there's a theme that runs across here with this younger generation. Are they more interested in on-trend fashion than, say, Gen Z folks are? I mean, that is to say, you're going to buy something, maybe only wear it for a year or two?
Sure. I think, look, on trend, everybody wants to be fashionable. Fashion trends change really quickly. I think core to what we do is bringing on-trend fashion to those consumers. And look, we have a business model that's built for that. So for us, we will launch maybe 100 new styles across each brand each week. We might only go a couple of hundred units deep on each style, and as we see success, buy back into the product that's really working. That allows us to just be on trend, much better for marketing, and allows you to talk really authentically to those customers.
Makes sense. I misspoke. This is alphabet soup. I meant to say Gen X. Gen Z are the younger people. Okay. Let's talk about the omni-channel approach. We talked about this a bit now, but looking forward, would you like to have? Well, I guess what's your ideal blend? Would you like to be something like 70 or 80% DTC? What's the sweet spot?
Look, I think we'll be predominantly direct consumer, right? We're not going to lock ourselves into any particular number. I think we're going to go back to that core strategy of where are our customers, let's be there if it's brand enhancing and the economics make sense. We'll continue to lean into stores for Polly, and I think, look, across our brands, there's stores opportunity. Right now, the focus is on Princess Polly.
By the way, Ciaran, I didn't congratulate you. You were earlier this month, very recently here, named the permanent CEO. So tell us about, how you're going to run the company differently than it was before.
Sure. Yeah, look, I think delighted to be named CEO, very fortunate with the team that I have. I think it's really kind of a credit to all the work they've been doing over the last couple of years that I've got the role. Look, I think we're going to continue with the strategy we have is working. We see it in the growth, in customer growth, revenue growth, profitability. I think we're very early on these brands. We're just kind of getting started on the journey we have, and we're going to continue to scale them aggressively in the US.
One last question, Ciaran. The economy seems to be booming right now, but how does a.k.a. do if there's a soft patch? Are your consumers still able to afford a.k.a. Brands products?
Yeah, look, I think we're very fortunate. We've been through a few cycles already in these brands. I think extremely resilient brands, very nimble, will react quickly. And I think what we've seen is, look, if the product is good, if you've got great product, your customers are there. We've seen them be resilient, and I think we've seen them react very positively to what we have. So we feel we're set up well for the future.
Perfect. We're going to leave it there. Ciaran, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me here in Orlando. I'm John Jannarone, Editor-in-Chief of Exec Edge, signing off from ICR 2025.